music, Julia?
No, I didn't.
Oh, good. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. I had to take this other call I've been waiting for. It came in just as I logged into your call, so I was hoping you weren't getting goofy music.
Oh, no, we didn't hear it.
Okay, good. We had a lot of fun
All right.
at your expense, Don Mike. It's okay. That's all right.
Dean, are you still on?
I am.
All right, I think we got everybody then. Finally got together our annual market supply presentation. As you guys know, that is part of our short-term planning process that we have to request from each shipper a detailed accounting of their winter peak market and firm supplies that they plan on using to cover their market for the heating season. And there's a lot of data that sits behind this presentation. I try to compile it and symbolize it the best I can. It can get pretty complex and cumbersome sometimes with everybody's little different pieces, but I try to break it down so it's more easier to see and not so complex. So the first slide breaks down each one of our shippers. Nazca, that is a combination of Jetco, Nazca, and Energy West Montana. So they're they do all their market supply combined. So all those shippers sit behind Nazca.
So, Julia,
Okay.
in looking at
Yep.
Nazca or Shell, is this uncommon or uncommon for them to be a little short? And what do we typically do about that if they are?
Well, there's a couple of things and reasoning behind why they're short. First of all, I guess, energy supply, they're sitting pretty good. They've got 3,000 a day base loaded from CIG from Jetco this year, and then they also have the ability to purchase 5,000 a day from Tenaska on the south end. So that's CIG gas, but he says he has absolutely no plans of using that unless it's absolutely needed. So and it's just the most expensive piece. So they're sitting good. Tenaska, however, is a little bit different this year, and I didn't know how to break it out. The MDU has 10,700 firm capacity on our system. However, Jetco is doing a different supply deal with them this heating season, and it's interruptible. So I didn't know how, it was kind of confusing to both Dean and I, and how we should kind of look at it. I think that their market, the 10,700, should be considered firm, because that's the agreement we have with them. But Jetco's given them sort of special deal where it can be interruptible. Say, for example, if we curtail our dry creek storage, then in return, Jetco would curtail MDU. And so they're not using their 10,700 this heating season. They're only using up to the 9,000 a day. So Jetco does have 9,000 a day of firm supply at CIG to cover that MDU market. But you can see that it shows a shortage because I use the 10,700 firm capacity under their market, but they don't have that full amount secured for supply for them, just because they're doing that interruptible supply deal.
So the way that would work, if we interrupted storage at Dry Creek for Tenaska would turn around and interrupt MDU deliveries. So the net effect to us would be a net of zero then?
Right. However, we do have that OBA with them, Operation Balancing Agreement, so we would have to make up that. If they curtailed, they'd have to make up that gap later on when we weren't curtailing. So it's a pretty confusing deal, and I'm not quite sure why they're doing that, but that's what they want to do.
So So just a little confused on that. If Tenaska, if we curtailed Dry Creek, so Tenaska couldn't get 1,700 out, Tenaska would curtail MDU.
Right.
But there'd be an imbalance that's created because of that?
Right. So we have an operational balancing agreement with MDU, so that would build up their imbalance. There was a discussion with Sean at MDU between them and Jetco, and he did assure that it wouldn't be, he wouldn't let the imbalance get out of hand to where we would have to fill a bunch of gas in order to make it up later. So this kind of sounds like they have a handle on it, where, and that's why Jetco has that 9,000 base supply.
I'm sorry about that. In that particular case, then we would expect then Tenaska would actually make the gas up at a later point then?
Right. Yes.
Is that, it sounds like that's a little bit unique and maybe not contemplated under our tariff. Maybe it is, but I guess, how have we papered this up? Is it emails with the acknowledgement on the side, on each side, what's going to happen, or how did you paper that up?
Well, it's a deal Jetco put together with MDU, and we also, they notified of this interruptible deal that they're doing with MDU this year, and we did have a discussion between Tom, Jason, Dean, and I, and Jetco and Tenaska. We had a conference call all together, and they did explain the process and how it was going to work. And to be honest with you, I don't think 100% no matter what, and however they come up with it, you know, because it's basically, I still consider it farm on our system, so say if we're required to flow it, but Jetco and Tenaska, they're going to have to come up with the supply, and whether they consider it interruptible between their agreement with MDU or not, I'm not quite sure, but they seem pretty confident that they can supply that 9,000. They did get a little extra supply at CIG to cover it, so they don't foresee any problems this heating season. But it is just a slightly different deal than what we're used to. And so that's why you see Tenaska short there a little bit, because they're doing that deal this year.
Okay. Mike, I think you may want to consider. Go ahead, Tom.
The thing we need to be careful of is that they don't try to play the OBA game with us and, preload the OBA before going into a cold spell, so that we owe them gas and then we curtail them. I think we were pretty clear in our meeting that we just can't do that. If we're curtailing Dry Creek storage, there's no supply to deliver to them to feed the OBA either. So, but I think we're going to need to watch out for that as we're going forward. Is that fair for the rest of the guys that were on the meeting? That's my recollection, anyhow.
Yeah. Wondering, Tom and Julia, if you haven't done it, I think it'd be worthwhile to do a summary of our expectations and document it with them in the form of an email to you. So we've got some sort of tracks out there that say this is the way we expect this to happen. For instance, Tom, your description there is probably something that needs to go into it. But, people intend to do the right things, I think, generally, but we're stuck in the middle of it all the time. It would be good if we can get our view of the world documented.
Yes, and I do have some email conversations back and forth with Sean, kind of just explaining what their plan is for that deal. So we do have some documentation, but I don't think we ever did formally put together our expectations, so that might not be a bad idea.
Okay.
All right, so Shell, you can see where they're showing a little bit short there. think they also have a deal where they've got a 20,000 a day contract at Carway. 10,000 of that is firm supply for Shell themselves, and then 10,000 of that is energy supply's piece. So they would be short if energy supply called back that 10,000 a day during a peak day, and so that would make them short. And they are aware of that. I told them that, well, if energy supply called that back, you would not have that as supply and you'd be short. They did tell me they have another 5,000 a day available at Kingsgate that could be delivered to Carway, but there again, we can't consider that firm supply on our transmission system because we can't guarantee that we can flow it on a peak day. So there's some variables there. They show short, but they got supply that if we could deliver it, we'd be fine.
So let me ask a question on that then, Julia. Is the 10,000 a day at Carway that can be recalled, is that in the energy supply total as well as in the Shell total?
No, it is not. It's just counted as firm supply for energy supply, not towards Shell. So that's why they're showing they're short.
Oh, okay. So, but I thought that was 10. Okay, so the 10 million a day they were talking about is in energy supply total, otherwise they'd be 229. But Shell is at 21 without the 10?
Yes, they've got 10,000 a day at Carway that they hold themselves as firm, and then not counted under their supply is at 10,000 a day of energy supplies. So that's counted under energy supplies firm supply number.
Okay.
So,
so when you talk to Shell about this, I mean, they're short, no matter how we slice it. And
yeah.
what they are saying, they got 5,000 available that could be delivered to Carway. So if that could be delivered to Carway, why is it not considered firm on our system?
Because our capacity is the 112,587, and we can't deliver more than that on a firm basis.
So it's
the only way we can deliver it, Mike, is by running spare compression and Maryland.
Just so we can't consider it firm.
Right.
Okay. So this is an interesting one as well. I mean, so they know they're going in short, and they're saying they could deliver another 5,000 to Carway, but Carway, TransCanada can't give it to us unless
we can get it.
And they could only, the 112 though is based upon the commitment that TransCanada has made. We can, because we have extra horsepower at Meriwether, we could probably take it in, which is interesting. So what happens if we hit that peak then and they're short?
So if we can't deliver it, they're going to be short. So you're going to see another, shipper covering them, basically. Somebody's going to be long and somebody's going to be short. So another shipper basically is going to be covering their shortage.
Julie and Mike, the way I see this is if it was a true design day, you're 6,000 or 6 million short on your system that cannot be supplied. 6 million customers, whether it's one customer or 6 million customers, right? I didn't mean it that way. 600 customers, 6,000, whatever the number is, somebody has to go off system. You're short if a true design day happened. There's no shipper can supply additional gas if they're maxed out because of design day. That's the way I see this.
That's the way I see it too. We would attempt to flow it by running extra horsepower, but those that are short are going to get, because we'd be in a critical operating time, those that were short at the end of the deal are going to get the $25 per MCF fine for everything they're short.
Is this a a manifestation of the fact that we're in the middle of our upgrades and they're lumpy. And the estimated loads for this year, if we hit a design day, are exceeding our hydraulic capacity overall. And until we get Carway upgraded, we're going to be in this situation.
I believe it's truly the supply isn't there. Our hydraulically, everything inside our borders can move the gas that we're designed for. It's because the on-system supply keeps on dropping. You have to go to Carway. We can physically move the gas at Carway, but the contracted firm at Carway that we're limited to is 112. So even though we can physically move it, Carway, TransCanada can say, no, we're only supplying the firm today of 112.
So it truly is, because with the system declining the way it is, and the limitations at both CIG and Carway, until everything catches up with the future design in 22 and 23, and those contracts kick in, there won't be enough supply if we hit a design day. So we're in that no man's land until the construction catches up.
I think that's true, and I hope we don't get to see it, but what I'd be interested in is what TransCanada does with that shift from Kingsgate to Carway. If they would let that other 5,000 flow, and the theoretical capacity at Carway goes to 117.
Should we
Because
be
if they're
asking
not
them that?